What is up, YouTube? Today we're back with another legend account review for RTA, of course, and it is the one, the only, the free-to-play god himself, Alifton. Now, if you aren't familiar with who he is, he did finish in the Hall of Fame 2 seasons ago, completely free-to-play, and we did do a video on him when he reached rank 4 2 seasons ago, also as free-to-play, tied for rank 3. And this past season, he ended rank 4 again, just shy of rank 3 for another Hall of Fame finish as a free to play player. And I'm really excited to show you guys. He's one of my favorite people to interview, to be honest, because his account is so unique and he's such a good player. So we're going to try to learn a ton of stuff and ask him some, mind-boggling questions if we're capable. So like, comment for the algorithm, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's jump into the account review of Alifton. Okay, so I'm gonna just start off with some quick questions and then we're just gonna fly into it, all right?
All right, let's
All
go.
right. So obviously, this season, you've been, we've talked a little bit in DMs and how you kind of found the season not too fun, but what are your kind of, main takeaways this season, in terms of maybe like why you didn't enjoy it or at times you did enjoy it? How'd you feel overall about this past season?
Um, like I told you, I didn't find it fun because I found the meta was pretty much. It's just okay. If Corsetti is banned, the meta is pretty much just speed. So, like, if you're slower, you're gonna have a hard time, and also it's not really fun.
Mm,
But besides that, usually when Zio was up, it wasn't too bad because with Zio, it doesn't matter if you're slow, you can still play the game. But when Zio and Herceli are both pre-banned, then it just feels miserable to play. You're basically forced to pick 5 tanks or
mm,
die.
mhm.
And that's why I didn't really find it very entertaining. And it also doesn't help that they released like 10 openers in the past year, so it's like really hard to play the game right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned that there's so many like openers and whatnot. Would you say that it's a really um like people who had a lot of speed gear or like, faster players had a much bigger advantage this season compared to other seasons?
Yes, for sure.
Mm, mm, okay. And my last question before we start is obviously you finished rank 4, you were beating a lot of players, and I think a lot of people in the community, highly regard you as one of the more difficult players to play against. Did you have any like hard matchups yourself where you kind of felt like there's some players that, kind of had your number, you couldn't beat, or maybe just bad luck against them?
There's no one I really found hard specifically, but I did struggle against people that, like I said earlier, pre-ban Zio and Herseri. But
Mm,
besides that, I didn't struggle against anyone specifically.
mm. Okay, got it. Well, with those questions aside, please go ahead and start wherever you want to go.
I'm just sorting by CP, so go by that.
Mm,
So first up we have Straze. I'd say he's like pretty average. He's a bit slow, but it doesn't really matter because I only pick him with CR pushers like DJB, Akatis, or Laya, so it doesn't really matter that he's slightly slow.
mm,
This unit was the main use for this unit was after the EE, you usually just pick him with Amit or Lidica, and then you just one-shot the entire enemy team.
mhm,
But I didn't play either of those units, so that's why I didn't give him any crazy gear.
I see.
Next up, SSV. Like you would think she would be good in this meta because of how many debuffers there are, but the
Mhm,
problem is like they all like most of them one shot her anyway. Like for example, Peyra can kill SSV in 2 hits. Luna S2 reduces SSV's HP by like 60%. Tenebria can dual attack with someone, so you can't even pick her versus that. Like she just like not that good. Like she's just good as a book if you play Lua. But besides that, this unit is kind of bad, which is pretty unfortunate.
I know some players towards the end were kind of leaning a little bit towards Sylvian Sage, into like some Tenebria matches where they're playing heavy control. Did you feel like there were some spots where you could have played her almost like how you would like Tori into heavy debuff comps kind of thing, or no?
Um, it depends on the team, but usually against those teams, like if they have like 5 debuffers, you're better off picking ML Hwayoung than SSV.
Mm, Yeah, we'll get to her. Don't worry. I know
Uh,
you're a big fan of WotM Hwayoung now.
yeah. The problem is, like I said earlier, usually, like, let's say they pick 5 debuffers. The problem is, like, some of those debuffers still do damage, and SSV can die to them. Like,
Mm.
usually, like, what's some debuffers? Luna can kill SSV, Pera can kill SSV, Lua, it's kind of hard, but with the challenge buff, she can still kill SSV. Also, like, she can just die to auto attacks, by the way. Like, you don't even need to have, like, crazy damage. You can just kill her with auto attacks. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that. This unit is, like, kind of bad, I'm gonna be honest.
Got it.
Next up, Arby. I mean, this is, like, he's built for adventure, but like I picked him in RTA sometimes. Usually when my opponent when my opponent is very squishy and I can guarantee the revive, I would pick him, but not very often.
Mm-hmm.
Celine. Okay, this unit is broken. I'm gonna be honest. My build isn't great. But I couldn't really pick her in many spots. But if you cleave, like, this is one of the best cleave DPS right now because, like, she can revive your team, and she also, like, with this, like, the free Sovereign, she does crazy damage. Like, she can one shot a lot of units if their defense broken.
Mm-hmm.
And she also gets immortality. It's really hard to kill her.
Yeah, I think if you had imprints, it might be a bit easier to make her even better from your point
Yeah,
of view, I think.
her
Yeah.
crit chance simply is pretty big.
Yeah.
Specter Tenebria. Somehow this unit is even worse than SSV. I didn't know that's possible, but she's just a book for Lua. I don't have much else to say about her. Like, she isn't good against anything.
Mm-hmm.
Tori. Okay, this unit. I really like this unit because, like, she's better than SSV against those debuff comps, and she also does more damage. She's like a better SSV, but she's only single target.
Mm-hmm.
She's The build is all right. She's definitely better for turn 2 than aggro because aggro has a lot of other options that are better and that are faster and better. But for turn 2, this is one of the best DPS for sure.
Mm-hmm. Would you prefer running Feet of Criticism over Windrider, or is it just because you don't have enough Windriders?
It depends. If you pick mitigation most of the time, you should be on Windrider, but I don't pick. Okay, by mitigation I mean prot set. I don't always pick prot sets, so I prefer having a barrier consistently than sometimes I have a prot set, sometimes I don't. That's why I'm
Mm,
on Corona Artifact.
I see. A little bit more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Mm,
Next up, Cidd. He's just a speed imprint. I don't have anything to say about him.
mm,
Okay, this is my Ludwig, and the idea behind this build is usually I pick him in Herseti when I take Zio, and this is the best DPS. This is the best Zio bridge in Herseti if you have Zio. He does so much work. He can usually, like, solo teams just with one Soberon.
Oh wow. Okay. That's the first
I mean,
Harsetti tuned Ludwig I've ever seen, I think.
it depends on their comp, but most comps die to Zio Soberon S3 into Ludwig Soberon S1 S3.
I see.
Choux, I have her build, but I don't think I picked her at all the last few weeks. Like, she's really awkward in this meta because, like, okay, like I said earlier, the meta was really speed oriented. So, like, on almost nobody, dare I say, nobody played turn 2 if Herseti was pre-banned.
Mm-hmm.
So this unit was just pretty much useless. If
Oh,
Herseti was up, that means you both are playing turn 2, but then you can't pick Choux if Herseti is up, so yeah.
yeah. She definitely fell off a lot for sure.
Yeah. And there's also, Aria is just better than her. Like, she also injures, and she also provides way more utility for your own team.
True.
BBK, she's base speed, immunity, ER. I picked her sometimes in Herseti. If my opponent had no debuffers, just damage, I would pick her, but that's about it. Next up, Solitaria. I'd say this is a pretty average build except the ER. I have 100 ER on most of my units in case I want to play stuff like Bellion or Aria. That way I can resist the debuffers that don't really build any effectiveness, like Luna and Peira.
Right.
But that's about it. This unit is still. She's just like, if your opponent picks Flan, you take Solitaria on 3. And besides that, there's no other reason you would pick her.
Right.
Krau. I don't know how I feel, but I really don't know how I feel about this unit. On some days I feel like he's really good, and then on other days I feel he's absolutely terrible. It really depends. I think he can be decent versus Cleave because of the Holy Sacrifice, and then you can revive and use your S3. But not having prot set feels kind of rough. Usually you want prot set on your team, but then if you pick a prot set, your opponent can take DJB. So you usually want to have like one knight that doesn't have prot set, and that was Krau for me.
Makes sense.
Next up, DDR. It's a pretty standard build, except the ER, I guess. Most people would prefer having immunity than ER, but I didn't have enough immunity gear, so I decided to just give him 100 ER, which also works better with Arium, which I did play. I played her somewhat, but not that often.
So would you say you would have preferred a gone immunity if you had the option to?
If I had the option, yes, I would have
I
rather had
see.
immunity.
And would you prefer a immunity even with the ER as well, if you had the
No,
choice?
that's overkill. If you want either immunity or ER, you don't want both. You
I
lose too
see.
much stats if you do that.
Mm.
Next up, Politis. So I wanted to give this unit a lot of ER so she can resist Lidica S2, but I found out it's really hard. It's like kind of actually hard to give this unit ER. So I ended up with only 200, and that usually doesn't resist Lidica S2, but that was the idea behind the build. I still picked her versus stuff like Amid, but that's about it.
I see.
Like ideally, I wanted to have around 250 ER, if
Who did you
possible.
build that helmet for? That craft helmet? Who did you originally make that for?
This was, I think this was my first, yes, this was my first craft, which was, when was the first craft? Like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
But regardless, it was originally made for Lulucar. This was back in the Laya Lulucar Siarmin meta, if I recall correctly.
I see. I see.
But yeah, that's why this helmet exists. Honestly, in hindsight, I regret making this, but you know, what can you do?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Tenebria. Okay, they released this unit in the middle, towards the end of the season, and this is one of the most disgusting units ever made. She has so much RNG. First of all, she has so much RNG. This thing has multiple debuffs it can inflict. There is no ignore ER. And this thing also has multiple debuffs it can inflict. And some are way better than the others. First of all, like some debuffs are way better than the others. Then you also have to factor in your opponent can 15% you. And if you get 15% on the block, for example, their cleanser can their cleanser can cleanse them, which also is really annoying. There's so much RNG in this kit, but this unit had pretty high win rate even with all of that. So you can imagine she was really busted because usually pure debuffers don't have very high win rate. Like Monk, for example, in her prime was really strong, and even then her win rate wasn't that high because her debuffs can get resisted, but Tenebria is just like she's just so broken that even if you get resisted, you're probably still gonna win because like they can resist one debuff, but then her S2 is also crazy. Rupture does insane damage, and there's also a restrict as well. And she gets stealth. Like her whole kit is just insane.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what they were thinking when they made her. And to top it all off, you don't even have to like you don't even have to go crazy on the stats. You can just give her like 100 effectiveness, and then you can give her full tank with proof of valor. And then your opponent can't kill her, and unless they're full ER, they're still gonna die. But usually for cleave, you wanna have be fast with high effectiveness if you're cleaving.
So, is this a build that you had to go through multiple different variations, or was this kind of a build that you
Oh,
already like settled on very early on when she came out?
I have a second Tenebria, but to answer your question, so originally I had a high effectiveness Tenebria on book. That was my first Tenebria. But then I realized, like I said earlier, unless my opponent is playing full ER, like 100 effectiveness is enough. I just need to
Yeah.
land on their. I don't even need to land on their cleanser because she blocks. Like she
Hmm.
inflicts block, which means the cleanser can't even cleanse the rest of the team. So even if I don't land on them, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to just go full bulk with 100 effectiveness. That way you can also pick her in her series because usually if you pick the high effectiveness one in her series, she can die really fast. But
Mm.
this thing is it's almost unkillable. Like Proof of Valor is so much mitigation, and also like if you go full tank, like these stats are it's really hard to kill.
Mm.
And she still does her job with 100 effectiveness. Unless, like I
Mm.
said, they're full ER. But yeah, in that case, you would pick either you would pick a high effectiveness one, or you wouldn't pick her at all.
Yeah.
Um, Next up is Gloomyrain. I don't have much to say about her. She's just a speed imprint for my Lua that holds book if I need the book.
Mm-hmm.
And Watcher Schuri, same idea, but he's mainly a speed imprint if my opponent picks stuff like Hua, so that he can kill Hua.
Mm-hmm.
I know Senya. I didn't pick this unit at all, but she is built in case I wanted to play her.
Mm.
I think she's good. Okay, she's definitely good in best of threes and best of fives, but in best of ones, she's pretty awkward to pick because your
Mm.
opponent can just take Ilynav if they're going slow, and if they're going fast, they can just kill your whole team even through Senya, and then
Mm.
just tank one S3 and you're gonna lose.
Right.
Okay, this is my second Tenebria. She's fast on book with 200 effectiveness. Um, there's nothing else I would like to add, but yeah, usually pick Tenebrias like this if you're playing aggro or cleave. Some people played Umbro Keystones, and I think that artifact is also good if you're playing stuff like Rinak or Lidica.
Mm.
But I didn't, so I just went with the book for consistency.
Makes sense. I was about to ask you that, so glad you covered that.
Yep. Flan, it's just a Zeo bridge. There's not much I would like to say about her, but she's definitely one of the better Zeo bridges.
That's surprising. I think last time we did your review, you had like a 277 ML Flan. Obviously, it slowed down because your speed gear had to move elsewhere. But
Yep.
what is the reason why you feel like this is a better bridge than other Zeo options?
I think her value went up because her S2 provides if you play openers, being able to push this pushes her whole team. So even if you're like slower than your opponent, flank can still bridge you in front.
Mm.
And her S1, if you have a book, which is usually Zeo, being able to bomb 2 units, that means half of his team is stunned. And she can really cripple the enemy team. That's why I like her. If
Mm.
they have no debuffers, she can practically solo the enemy team.
Mm.
Next up, Adin. This is the best Harseti, the best DPS in Harseti, provided she dodges, but this unit almost never dodges.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I tried her a bit with Conqueror Lilius when they released Blue Hwayoung, but I found that it's kind of awkward to play a base speed Aiden with Conqueror outside of her SETI. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, she gets pushed up after every turn by 20% if she has Vigor, but one S3 is like you get one S3 off, and then you're back at the start of the CR bar, and it takes an eternity before your next turn.
Mm.
So I don't think she's good with Conqueror, but in her SETI, she's definitely the best DPS.
Mm. I see.
Next up, Elvira. I don't have anything to say about this unit. She's on an average build, I would say. I
Torrent?
don't think I picked her at all.
You're running
Yes,
Torrent for
Torrent.
the max damage?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need anything. Like, if you have 200 effectiveness, it's usually enough. Effectiveness, I mean, it's nice. I have like 70, but I don't really need more. There is nothing else to run, so might as well increase her S3 damage by a bit.
I see.
Next up is Ras. His gear isn't that crazy, but I found out that I didn't really play him a lot.
Mm,
That's why I downgraded his gear. I think last season he was one of the best, if not the best prot sets, but now it's kind of hard to pick him. I would, at least for me, from my experience, I found it hard to pick him. So I downgraded his gear, and I only picked him with Tori, I think. But even then, usually that comp struggled pretty hard versus DJB because even with the Rust barrier from his passive, Tori could still die from stuff like, let's say DJB presses S2 and then he pushes up Luna. Luna presses S2 on something else, and then your Tori is on like 10% HP and the barrier isn't procced. So whatever goes next can just kill your Tori. So I
yeah.
found it pretty awkward to play Ras Tori or Ras in general for that matter. So I don't think I played him that much.
I see.
Next up is Lua. She's still broken. I don't have much to say about her, but right now, you definitely, I mean, you want like speed on every opener, but if you get like a 320 Lua, you can farm the whole ladder last season.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, 320. Yeah.
Anything else to say? Yes, I removed her immunity stat because I found out I didn't need it. Almost no one picked Politis, and even when they picked Politis, it was usually a slow Politis on Bastion of Hope so that they can play her, so that they can play her with Arya. So there's no reason to buff stack, and that's why I just gave her hit set because I have faster pieces on hit set, and that's about it. Next up is Laya. I have her geared just because I don't have ML Peyra, and I pre-ban her, but Laya is just a worse Peyra, pretty much.
Mm,
She was sometimes nice to have versus stuff like Lua, but besides that, this unit is not that good.
I was um I was reading your E7 GG once in a while, and
Mm,
I do want to point out that you were running like a ARAM Laya setup. I think maybe
yeah,
when ARAM first came out. I don't remember exactly when, but
yeah, yeah.
did you find that successful at all or no?
It was fun, but successful. No, I lost like 100. I lost like 100 points playing that comp. I did Aram first pick into Ilynav Laya, and the problem is, unless you're playing Bird's Eye View Aram, even if you reset your Laya, you can't soul burn, and Laya S3 without soul burn does very little damage.
Hmm.
And honestly, even if you get all of that off, you kill one unit and then what? Like, your opponent is probably still gonna 3v4 you because your ARAM pressed S3 to reset your Laya. Your Laya pressed S3. You're already down 2 units to kill 1 unit. So usually I found out that I would lose the match even from that spot.
I see.
Next up is Luna. This is probably my best unit on the account right now, I think. 308 speed on immunity with a lot of HP. She's I would say she's the best opener for turn 2 right now because you don't need her to be fast because of her unique skill now. And she's also very consistent because she can hold her own book and so burn her S3. And her S2 also does really good damage against squishies. You can usually one-shot them, stuff like Celine without a shield artifact or Tori and so on.
Hmm.
She's just very consistent, and I mean, honestly, I recommend if you're a turn 2 player and you're wondering who you should put your fast set on, I would say you either go Luna or Lua. Both
Mm,
options are fine.
hmm.
The problem with Lua is that after ARAM came out, it's a lot harder to pick her as turn 2 because your opponent can just pick ARAM, or hell, they can just Lidica you, and then if you're slower, you're probably gonna lose.
Hmm.
That's why I would recommend you either go Luna or I mean, Peta, but the thing with Peta is usually she wants different stats than Luna.
Hmm.
So it depends on what your gear is.
I think one thing I want to add as well is like especially when people match up against you, and I've had conversations with other people on ladder where they're like they don't know if you're running a fast or a slow one because in the past we've seen you run like a 240, a 260, and
Yeah.
like so many different variations. It's almost like you're also like you have that benefit of keeping people guessing as well, right? Which I think also plays to your advantage when you play Luna.
Yeah, slow Luna is also great. I wish I mean I have a second Luna, but I don't have the monas to gear her right now, and I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
her last season.
Mm-hmm.
But after I get some monas, I would definitely gear my second Luna to be on a slow build. I think a
Mm-hmm.
slow build is definitely, I mean, obviously a slow build is way better in her seti
Mm-hmm.
because you have way more stats. And it's also like a slow build is good sometimes if you're like sometimes if you're getting cleaved, you would like a fast one and sometimes a slow one. Like it depends on what your opponent wants to do, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I definitely want a second Luna.
Mm-hmm.
Archdemon, I had this geared for Lua as a book yet again. I don't think I picked her much, but she's her gear isn't anything crazy, as you can see. It's all purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't think the unit is that good, but sometimes the seal was nice. Okay, next up is Lidica. This is probably a pretty confusing build for most people, but the reason I have this is for ML Arcades. There were a lot of people that were running 300 plus ER Arcades on Bastion of Hope. So against that, I would take Lidica and Teu, and most of the time Teu would get banned because Teu is just OP, and then my Lidica could tank their Arcades, and I would win from that spot. Like ideally, I would like some more effectiveness, but it's already kind of rough being at 310 with the artifact.
Yeah,
But
I think
that's
a
pretty
lot of
much
people swap to like a super high effectiveness Lidica because Zeo just doesn't have enough to tag the Acades.
yeah.
Hmm.
You definitely need and you need a high effectiveness unit, and the
Hmm.
only unit that does this is Blidica. I mean, Ruana can also do it, but the problem is most opponents would take Yufin,
Hmm.
and if they take Yufin, you can't really pick Ruana. So the only other option would be Blidica or Teu, like I said, because Teu doesn't like if you have Teu, you don't need to land on the case. You can just land on something else and then murder her with Teu.
Mm.
Like the unit is just like Teo is the best Zeo bridge by far.
Hmm.
Next up, Diene. She's on horrendous gear, but I had her gear just in case my opponent pre-bans Ilynav and then picks a bunch of pen units.
Hmm.
But that's about it. Next up is Hwayoung. I picked this unit a lot because I found her pretty fun to play, but overall, I would say she's not that great. Even like in this debuffer meta, I would say she's not that great because like she has a lot of weaknesses. Um, First of all, there's the openers that give skill nodes like Amit or Lidica. If your opponent can give themselves skill nodes, she just feels miserable to play. Then there's units like Flan, Tori, or Celine, which can easily solo Hwayoung because she can hit them multiple times and then they just kill her.
Hmm.
And then there's also openers that can just kill her. Like Pera, for example. Like Pera can kill Hwayoung in 3 to 4 S1s.
Yeah.
And even if Hwayoung counters, if you miss, you're gonna barely kill. You're gonna barely deal any damage. So Pera can easily solo Hwayoung as well.
Hmm.
Luna can also somewhat kill Hwayoung, but that's more RNG. Like if you counter, you're gonna win, but if you don't counter, Luna can kill you pretty fast with her S2s as well.
Hmm.
So I would say this unit, I think I think she needs some help, but it is what it is. Oh, and also by the way, like sometimes versus Arunka, like I would soul burn my S3 and I would barely do half of their HP. Like that's also somewhat disturbing, I'm gonna be honest. Like my
Yeah.
opponent has a light unit, I'm soul burning my S3, I'm like base speed almost, and I would still barely do some above half of their HP. And okay, don't even get me started. If they get if Arunka presses S3 before you press S3, you're not even gonna break her shield, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if Arunka presses S3, the game is already over.
Yep.
You can just shield.
Yep.
Next up, I have Lidica. I don't think this unit is good. I think Amy is a better opener than Lidica,
Hmm.
but I mainly had this geared because I can put her on Guiding Light. I'd much rather have my openers on Guiding Light because I don't pre-ban Zio, and I don't expect my opponent to pre-ban Zio. Okay, if my opponent is pre-banning Zio, I'm not picking a 305 opener. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, so that's why I have her on Guiding Light. As for the build, the reason I have high attack is first of all because I don't have any other gear, and second, because with her S1 bleed, I can usually kill something squishy like Celine. Like I
Mm.
found myself picking this against Celine somewhat, and then I would just press S2, and then I can choose if I wanna S3 something and push it back, or just S1 Celine. And most of the time, as long as I land my bleeds, I would kill because of how high my attack is. But yeah, that's about it.
How much bleed damage were you popping at this high attack?
Um, I don't recall, but it definitely was enough to kill squishy DPS like
Like
Celine.
under 10K, like for sure, like but somewhere in that range
Yeah,
with their max HP. I see.
yeah, but you need to land both bleeds though.
Right, right.
Next up is Mort. I despise this unit, but I had him geared just in case. I don't think I played him at all.
Mm-hmm.
His build is pretty average. I'm on Bastion of Perlusha, but you definitely want Holy Sack if you have enough Holy Sacks, you want him on Holy Sack. Flan, I have a fast Flan. She is high damage, but I also have some bulk on her because I don't really like being that squishy on Flan. Sometimes I want her to be able to tank a hit or two. That's why I gave her some bulk and sacrificed a bit of damage.
Mm-hmm.
This unit, she's still okay. She's still good for aggro and cleave, but for if you're playing slow, this unit it sucks because your opponent can just take Solitaria, and the Solitaria side is being on the Solitaria side is way better than being on the Flan side in a turn 2 versus turn 2 game.
For sure. Yeah.
So for turn 2, I would say this unit fell off, but aggro and cleave, she's still really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next up, this is my Politis. I have her on high ER so I can play her with Arion against stuff like Tenebria or other debuffers. But the problem is, even at so right now with this, I'm on 250 ER, and with Arya, I'm 290 if I have Arya on my team. And I found myself, I was still getting tagged by Tenebrias quite consistently, so I didn't pick this that much towards the end, but I had it as an option.
Mm.
Okay, next up I have Schneo. I'd say his build is nothing special. I have ER on him, same building as the other units, so I can pick him with Balion or Arya.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, Schneo, it's way better for Schneo to have some ER because there's quite a lot of people that play stuff like Luna, something, something, and then go DDR later. And you definitely want your Schneo to be able to resist the seal. Otherwise, if your Schneo has no ER and your opponent has Luna, you can't really pick him even if they take DDR because Luna would just seal you and then DDR can press. So you definitely want some ER on him so that if you have stuff like Arya or Balion, you can resist the Luna seal.
Makes sense.
As for artifact, you want Guardian Ice Crystal, but I didn't have any. I didn't have any left, so I just gave him Touch of Echoes, which is complete ass. But you know what can you do?
Are you gonna pull the magic wands?
I don't have any. I don't have any Sky Stones or. Oh, I went to the shop. I don't have any Sky Stones or bookmarks, so I'm not gonna pull on the banner. But I'm definitely gonna buy it from the powder shop.
Mm.
Next up, we have Blue Aria. I don't think I picked this unit a single time, but it is build. It is build, but I don't think I picked her at all.
Mm-hmm.
Karina, another unit I didn't pick, but it's geared just in case. Like I found out that even in the perfect spots for Karina, she would still somehow lose. Like for example, my opponent would have something like Celine or Flan or Tori, but the problem is if they're on Wind Rider, they kill something. and then they just go into stealth, and your Karina can't kill the DPS because it's in
Mm.
stealth.
Yep.
So the unit is completely useless.
Yep.
Next up is Balayan. This unit is still broken. Like probably one of the most disgusting turn 2 units for sure. She prevents her opponent from having souls. She's insanely tanky. She can counter. She can also provoke with S3. And she does pretty good damage with her 3F. Um, I think everyone is familiar with 3F Belian. I don't think there's anything else to say about the unit.
Question
But
for
okay,
you.
actually, up. What's up?
Oh, did you ever consider maybe putting ER on this? Because you mentioned so many units about having Arya and Valiant and Sea Phantom. Did you consider or even try using ER Valiant or like throughout the season?
I considered it every time my Belian got stunned by a Flan S1. But I couldn't justify losing so much gear score just so that just so I can resist the Flan S1 stun. But I don't think ER is good unless you have an insane ER build.
Hmm.
What I wanted to say earlier was last season Speed Bellion was also good, but I think this season Counter Bellion is definitively the better build
Mm-hmm.
for this season at least.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Zio, my favorite unit, I would say, in the game. He has a mix between damage and effectiveness. I found out that 200 effectiveness was enough because usually the stuff that will be higher ER, it's not worth risking it because even if I have a 200, let's say I made a 250 effectiveness Zio, I still wouldn't really want to S3 into Arcades because sure, I could maybe tag Kurt, but I would rather be able to tag something else consistently so I can proc my bridges like Lidica, Teiyu, or
Mm-hmm.
like whatever else I had drafted than risk silencing Arcades.
I think to add on to that point as well is that um, a lot of people like transition to Idol's Cheer Arcades as well.
Yeah,
And that
there's also that
obviously
build.
was a lose condition as well that you had to play around, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Next up, I have Sharon. Uh, I remember a lot of people were picking this after she got buffed with Rinag, but I don't think I saw any Sharoons towards the end of the season. I don't know about you, but I don't think I saw this unit at all. And for me, she's on some random gear. I have a 100 effect FRS for the same reason as Schneel, so that I can pick her against DDR if my opponent has Luna.
Mm.
And that's about it. Like usually, if I wanted a debuffer, a high effectiveness debuffer, I would pick Tenebria or I would just pick my Tenebria honestly because Tenebria is a
Mm-hmm.
way better debuffer than Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
Abigail, she's on some random gear. I just geared her for Straze pretty much. I can put whatever my highest HP unit is in the backline so that Straze can't kill and take an extra turn, and that's about it.
Mm.
Okay, next up is Arcades. This build is mainly just for Luna Cleave. Ideally, you want her to be at least 10 speed faster. You want her to be like 270 speed, but
Mm.
I didn't fight that much Luna Cleave to justify giving her better gear. And honestly, this build worked fine for me anyway, so I didn't really need to. But yeah, she's just if my opponent plays stuff like Luna Frida, I would take Arcades and I would be able to cut most of them. But okay, if you have a 270, 280 Arcades, you can cut like every Luna Frida comp with no problem. But at 260, if they're like really fast, you can sometimes not cut.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's basically what this unit is built for.
I know in the past you've been one of the people in the community that have been like, if I could build four Arcades, I would. And so,
Yeah,
like, this season, I feel like was actually truly one of the seasons where you could have like a Soulcon, an Eternus, an Idol's Cheer. Like, there's so many variations you could have built, a Bastion of Hope, right? So I feel
yeah, yeah.
like, did you have like, are we gonna see another Arcades down the review, or did you only have one this season?
You won't see another Arcades. I have a second Arcades, but I ungeared her, and that's because I didn't really place. Okay, she's Arcades is a turn 2 unit, and I found myself that I didn't really play slow that much. And this Arcades was this build is fine for most situations. So I didn't wanna gear a second Arcades for that one in 30, 1 in 40 game. Because like if I gear a second Achilles, um, this Achilles is pretty good. So if I gear a second Achilles, I would have to give her like equally as good gear so that I can justify picking that one in a better spot than this one. Because this works against most things, except debuffers. But against debuffers, I would pick other units anyway.
Right.
So this works against most units because she's fast and she has bulk. So that's good enough. And like I said, stuff like Idol's Chiracades or Bastion of Hope, I didn't gear them because I barely fought Luna Cleave, so I didn't see any reason to.
I see.
And like this unit is kind of, she's only good versus Luna Cleave or Zeo Cleave, and that's about it. Like against Aram or against Aram, against Amit or against Lidica, she's useless.
She's useless. Yeah.
Dilibet, so I gave up on the fast build because I found out even versus Lidic I would rather have Aram than Dilibet. And even if let's say they took Aram and then Lidica, even then I wouldn't pick Dilibet because they can just pick stuff like Straze or Celine, and if they do that, my Dilibet is useless. So I swapped to a slow build just so that I can have a lot of damage and be able to queue like high debuffer comps like Tenebria if my opponent picks stuff like Tenebria plus DDR, or in her set if my opponent has Corsetti and some debuffers, she can do a lot of damage in those scenarios.
And this helps probably in some of the Harsetti matches, right, where you need a cleanser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Like usually, in her setting, if you pick your fast Dilibet, she feels really useless. But if you have a build like this, or like even slower, then you can do a lot of damage and still cleanse your team, which is pretty good. Next up, we have Amiki. She's been the same unit since release. I think everyone knows what Amiki does. I don't really need to go over her. Holiday Yufin. I give up on this unit. I give up. So originally, this unit used to be like 280 speed with roughly the same stats, but then she lost, like every game I picked her, she would lose and lose and lose. So I slowly downgraded her from 280 speed to 270, then she would lose again, I would downgrade her again, and now I'm left with this build. And the only reason she's even still built is in case my opponent goes Zeal Teiyu, I would pick Yufin because she counters Teiyu, and that's about it. Like if Teiyu didn't exist, this unit wouldn't even be geared right now.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna say I have this geared for trial constellations with this build.
I think you need effectiveness for Trial of Constellations.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do that. I can just swap this to effectiveness ring and it's perfect. Next up is Elena. I'm trying to think if I picked this unit against anything, but I really don't think I picked her a single time. I mean, she's good against Ran in case your opponent ever takes Ran, but I don't think anyone's gonna play Ran. I think this unit is just useless right now.
Yep.
Next up is DJB. He's pretty good against Prot Knights in turn 2 versus turn 2, but the problem is if you get cleaved, like let's say your opponent, okay, let's say they pick slow 1-2, then you take DJB, like they take like slow Luna plus FCC, and then you take DJB, and then your opponent goes something like aim it Straze. It's pretty rough to come back from that. I mean, it depends on what your first two units are, but DJB is very susceptible to getting cleaved. So that's why I wouldn't really... I'm not a big fan of him. But in turn 2 versus turn 2, he's really strong. Like, if your opponent isn't gonna cleave you, he's really strong. Next up is Arunka. I think, okay, so I will start by saying, I think her best build right now is just full tank on Noble Wolf or Proof of Valor. But the reason I'm giving her this set is because there's another unit that we'll get to later that took her full tank set. And I didn't really have another tank set at base speed, so I just decided to make this build. And the reason for that is because this unit is usually either pre-banned or she gets post-banned. So it doesn't matter what her build is because you can even have her ungeared and your win rate will probably be like 10% lower with her because like it doesn't like if you have like 60% win rate with Arunka, if you picked an ungeared Arunka every game, you would probably have a 50% win rate because like she's almost always either getting post-banned or pre-banned.
Yeah.
Next up is Blood Moon Haste, the GOAT. His build. Okay, so this season I went for 100 ER rather than immunity, but I will say I think immunity is definitely the better option. But I didn't have enough immunity gear, so I went for 100 ER build instead. And he's still the same mode. Proof of Valor, 30k HP haste, nothing new there. And yeah, he's still broken if your opponent picks a lot of damage with very little debuffs, but the problem is most people pick debuffers nowadays, so he kind of struggles against those. Also, against stuff like Celine, if your opponent has Celine, it feels really awkward to play haste into that because haste can't kill Celine, and sure, you can revive by killing something else, but the problem is like Celine can also revive her team, and usually Celine ends up winning that matchup. Arya, I think the unit is good, but I wish her S2 gave more ER. Because even at 30k HP, I would get tagged by stuff like DDR would tag me, Tenebria would always tag me. Like I don't think almost every Tenebria tagged me. So I just wish.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just wish she got more ER from either her S2 passive or her conversion from HP to ER. Because like she's supposed to be good against debuffers, but most debuffers tag her regardless. And if you get tagged on this unit, you're basically playing 3v4.
So I know a lot of people upon Arya's release, people were saying, "Oh, she's not that good. She can't replace Balian." Blah blah blah. When she came out, when you know were using her, did you feel like she was giving a good return for your summons, or do you feel like it took a little bit of time to kind of figure her out in terms of how to kind of utilize her in the best way?
It definitely took me a bit of time to figure out, and I would say one of her best partners is Peyra, and I don't know Peyra, but she's really strong if you have Peyra on your team. And I will also say before Tenebria came out, I think this unit was OP. Before Tenebria came
Yes.
out, if you played turn 2 with Arya, it's really hard for your opponent to do anything.
Yeah.
The problem is after Tenebria, like I said earlier, Tenebria can tag you. Like it doesn't matter. Like unless you wanna start building 100, like 100, 150 ER, which means you have to sacrifice either damage or HP, you would get tagged. And also, like, the problem with this unit is as well is if you start investing substats into ER, then you start losing a lot of damage. And her damage before she ramps up is already not that high. So losing damage for ER feels really rough.
100%.
Next up, we have Ilynav. So I used to run prot set Ilynav with damage, but I found out that this season the damage didn't really matter at all. So I just gave her more bulk and 100 ER. Like I don't think I ever felt after changing to this build. I don't think I ever thought to myself, I wish I had my damage Ilynav right here. So that's what I'm running right now. As for Destro Ilynav, I think Destro Ilynav is completely useless.
I would agree. Yeah, even in a Harseti, I feel like you would prefer the Prot Aureus way more than the Rise
Yeah.
Destro one.
Okay, I will say, if you have two Ilyanavs, having a Destro Rise of a Monarch Ilynav is not bad because you can pick mitigation later on if you need to. But if you have only one Ilynav, this Prot set is for sure the Prot Aureus is definitely the better build. Next up is Ruele. This unit is decent versus some cleaves because they would kill one or two of your units, but Ruele can just revive them, and then you would win from that spot.
Mm-hmm.
But besides cleave, she's not really used besides cleave.
Mm-hmm.
Artifact, I'm on Water's Origin, but I think Idol's Share is also a great artifact. You can
Mm-hmm.
also run Guardian Ice Crystal. She has multiple options,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty good. But I found that Water's Origin was the best artifact for me because like stuff like Straze, he would kill something and he would also do enough damage to proc my Ruele, so I can push up and then I can
Revive.
revive before, yeah, I can revive before
Mm-hmm.
my other units go.
Mm-hmm.
If anything else is even left afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Like some base speed Straze killed my whole team in like 1s3, 1s1. Ruana, this unit is just in case your opponent has a lot of extra attacks or counter attacks, you would pick her. The gear doesn't matter, you just want to give her as much HP as possible. I'm on an FRES ring because I ran out of HP ring, so I just gave her an FRES ring because I mean the gear doesn't matter, so I just gave her whatever I had left.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Edward. I'm on injury set. Like, I think I picked him like once or twice in the last week, and he got box banned both times, so I guess he did his job. But I'm pretty sure if my opponent let him through, he would have won, but thankfully they post banned him. Like, this unit he's not good. Like, even if your opponent has a lot of debuffers, he's still not very good.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Corsetti. I'm on a full damage build because I don't like sitting there and praying for crown stuns. I find that very cringe. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just playing her on Fairy Tail on full damage. This unit is still the biggest. I mean, yeah, she's definitely the biggest mistake in E7, but Smaugate decided that she will stay, so it is what it is. Next up is Wukong. This build is just to tank Straze S3 because he has built-in penetration resistance, and he also has crit hit resistance, so Straze can also miss crit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this unit is just to tank Straze.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, I have Freedom. I don't play this unit very often, but if my opponent is ER cheesing me, then I would pick her. If I have stuff like Lua or Luna, and she would get post banned, but that's
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Fene. She's good against units like Choux, but like I said earlier, Choux is practically unplayable right now. So, like, if there is no Choux, there is no other unit you really want to pick Fene against. So this unit's also kind of unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
But it's unfortunate because I think her kid is pretty interesting, but she just sucks right now. Next up, I have young Senya. She's on a fast build, pretty standard.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my highest defense units on my account, and I made it like this because if my opponent picks something like Blue Hua, it would go on Senya, and then I would proc Senya and instantly kill his whole team, but
Mm.
that's about it.
Makes sense.
Next up is Teo, the West Zeo Bridge. You just want him at 170 speed and then you go full damage on Merciless Glutton. But I will say, I heard some people, um, if your opponent has Yufin Acades, I heard some people got cut by Acades. Like some people have like
Yes.
290, 300 Acades, and if you were on 170 speed, your Teo wouldn't push enough. That's why I made him like 190 speed. That way, if someone has like a monster Acades, I would still take the turn.
Yeah. Yeah. I lost one game due to that, and then I changed to 187, and then it never happened again. So it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, I have Bidom. I just gave her my fast prot set because it was laying around. It wasn't on anyone, so I just gave my Bidom the prot set. I didn't really play this unit that much. I only picked her if my opponent went something like Monk. Like if someone goes Monk, I would pick her. But
Mm-hmm.
besides Monk, I don't think I picked her against anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Emu Ruana. Pretty average build, high effectiveness, some attack. I wish I had a bit more effectiveness, but I had to give the other gear to other debuffers, so she's stuck here at 260F. But
Mm-hmm.
it's decent enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yoha, I gear this for green Senya. If my opponent is Amit cleaving me, I would sometimes pick green Senya plus Yoha, depending on their comp. And the reason for Yoha is because you need a green unit for your Senya, but you also want like something that can impact the enemy team. For example, if you pick Albedo, like she's pretty useless. Like she doesn't do any damage. Like she helps with mitigation, sure, but like you still need to kill your opponent. You can't just like sit there and like wait for them to hit your Senya because they can just not pick AoE. That's why I went Yuka because she can reflect damage and her S3 is also she can kill one unit with her S3. Next up is Albedo. This is one of the prot knights. I had it geared for. I mean, if I play green Senya against something other than Amit Cleave, I would take Albedo. And also, if I need like a lot of mitigation, I would pick Albedo as well. Next up, Wanderer Silk. It's just a speed imprint, fast on immunity. I don't have anything else to say about her. ARAM. I think okay. I think I don't like this build, but this is what I used. I think you can go. So there's multiple options. If you're cleaving, you can play her on Bird's Eye View or on her own artifact with like 280, 290 speed. If you're playing turn 2, you can make a base speed prot ARAM. And if you're getting against cleave, like against Lidica, for example, you can make a fast ARAM on Magaraha's Tome, and that's really good against Lidica cleave because you would take the turn if they press S2, and then you can push something up and
Win the game. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
This build, I mean, it's all right. I liked it versus Lua, and also if I'm playing aggro, I like this build because she's fast, and also Ice Crystal is like a really good artifact. But I think like this unit was meant to counter stuff like Lua and Lidica, but the problem is I'm pretty sure she's way better with Lua and Lidica than against.
For sure. Yeah. I
Which
think
is
there's
like somewhat.
yeah, the fact that she can reset just and then all that chip damage coming in, it's so strong.
Yeah. And she also gives vigor buff to the team if you use an AoE.
Yeah.
Assassin Cartuja. Okay, this unit is geared first for Straze, but secondly, if he evades, he pushes up your team. So I picked Luna a lot. So if my opponent goes something like Lidica, and I already have Luna, if they go Lidica Straze and I already have Luna, I would pick this guy. That way, if Lidica presses S2, my Luna will still push up. Because as long as this guy dodges, like he still needs to dodge. But if he dodges, I would push up and then I can press S3 or S2 depending on what I need more.
How often would you say you picked Assassin Cartuja in those cases?
Almost never, but I did pick it once and it got banned, but that's about it.
I see.
Next up is Candy. She's been geared for multiple seasons now, but I don't think the only times they pick her is if I want to buff stack, and in those cases, like the build doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I am on like counter set, in case I like. I don't think it matters at all, to be honest. I only pick her for buff stacking. As a damage dealer, this unit is terrible. Next up is Yufin. Probably the best knight, mitigation knight this season. Like she provides so much to the team. Like the CR reduction is just crazy. Like so many units like CR to push their team, and being able to deny that is really good. The DPS build, I would say, like Holy Sack, Destro, Yufin is good if you're playing Amit, but like for anything else, I think DPS Yufin is pretty bad right now. Like Protzer is way better. And okay, lastly, we have Kairon here. So this is the guy who took Karunka's set, the full tank set. This unit was good against some comps. Like if your opponent has a single damage carry, like if they have Tori or Celine with something like, let's say, your opponent has Luna, uh, DJ, let's say Luna, DJB, Ras, Tori. Like their only carry is Tori. Usually Kairon would win that, provided you have Balayan or Ari on your team, because if you don't, Luna can just Soulburn S3 and seal you.
Mm-hmm.
But against single DPS comps like Celine or Tori, Kairon would usually win that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all of the units I had built. The rest is just for PvE pretty much.
I see. Okay, so I have a few questions that I'll start off with.
Yep.
For I guess like not so much about the last season, but obviously you just showed Kairon at the very end of the heroes that you used. Who do you feel like is the winner of the balance patch overall from Conquer Lilias to Ida to Kairon and etc.
I think it's okay. I think it's definitely either Sage Ball. Those two are definitely the winners of the patch, and there's also Hand Guy, but I mean he wasn't from the balance patch, but the exclusive equipment. But
Mm-hmm.
let's also count him in there as well. I think
Mm-hmm.
Hand Guy is also pretty decent now because his Resto does pretty good damage, and
Mm-hmm.
the 10 speed from the E also helps a lot with the gear requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Besides those three, I think Kairon's buff is nice, but I wish the injury. Okay, this thing is the injury they gave him is completely useless. Absolutely no one is hitting Kairon, and like even
Mm-hmm.
if they're hitting Kairon, most people are on a full tank build, so you're gonna injure your opponent for like 100 damage, which
Mm-hmm.
is basically nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And the buff, being able to hit evasion units is nice, but I wish they leaned more into his kid as a carry than the full tank build, because like all these buffs do is help the full tank build. Like the full damage build is useless because most units can just one shot him,
Mm-hmm.
and his damage is also terrible. Like all of his damage comes from the fixed damage. Like even if you
Mm-hmm.
go full damage build, you're still gonna do like 3 to 4k damage depending on what your opponent's team is. So
Mm-hmm.
there's really no reason to play full damage, which is a shame.
Mm-hmm.
As for Conqueror Lilius, I'm not sure. I haven't played at all. Like, I don't know if she's good or not, but I feel like she's still gonna lose to the same units, so I'm not really
Yeah,
sold on her.
like meta's still too fast. Aim at Lidica, that Renak is still gonna just overwhelm her
Yeah,
Zeo, right? Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Now, another question is, which light Tenebria did you find yourself picking more often?
The proof one for sure.
Mm,
If you're playing slow, if you're not fast, you definitely wanna like I said, like 100 effectiveness is good enough for most units.
mm,
You only wanna pick the high effectiveness one if you're getting cheesed, if you're getting ER cheesed, or if you're cleaving, because against if you're cleaving, you don't care about your bow. You just want to land debuffs and be fast.
I see. Okay. And so I know obviously like you've mentioned it a few times where you don't have Lone Wolf Payra, and obviously
Yep.
she's kind of one of the I don't even I might even say like probably the strongest unit of the season. If you did have Lone Wolf Payra, like do you think you would still lean into playing like Various Tooth? Do you have multiple copies? Would you offer a Sweet Miracle? Do you think it would have changed the way that you kind of approached or maybe change your pre-bans at all if you did have Lone Wolf Payra?
Um. So first of all, about the build, you definitely want. I would give her Uberius for sure, because like the whole like half of the reason why Pera is broken is because of Uberius. On Sweet
Hmm.
Miracle, she's kind of useless. Not gonna lie.
Hmm.
As for pre-bans, yeah, I mean, if I had Pera, I definitely wouldn't pre-ban her.
Hmm.
I would play her myself. Um, I think that was the whole question, right? I don't think there was anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. If you did not have New Moon Luna, do you feel like you would have struggled a bit more like this season?
Uh, yes, definitely. I mean, I would give the gear to someone else, but the problem is like no other unit can do what Luna does, because
Hmm.
even if you get outsped with Luna, like you still have a skill now, so your opponent can't like debuff. You're still gonna like be able to to do something on your turn. Like you won't get slapped or like provoked by something. Like Luna can still take the turn. Meanwhile, other like debuffers, like if you get outsped, you're probably gonna get debuffed or die.
Hmm.
So Luna is definitely one of a kind. And if I didn't have her, I would struggle more for sure.
I see. Now, obviously, many people, including myself, were, rooting for you for the E7, World Cup, and you had a, strong showing up until you died, unfortunately.
Yep.
Maybe walk us through like what kind of prep work did you kind of, go through to prepare yourself for E7 World Cup? Because I think I speak for a lot of people who think, oh, like Lifton, doesn't have, as wide of an account. He's missing a lot of, meta or strong units. Um, like what kind of preparation did you do going into the E7 WC this year?
I mean, so like obviously, like I played a lot of RTA, but besides that, so like the main thing is about like best of threes and best of fives is you need to think about how to spread your gear throughout like efficiently throughout your account because like you don't wanna like go all in like your first match. Like put all the best gear on the units you're gonna pick in the first round, and then you have nothing left for round 2 and 3. So you need to like spread it like across all of your units. So you
Hmm.
need to think about that for sure. Then you also need to
Hmm.
think about like what units are gonna be good, what do I wanna pre-ban, um, and so on. And like that's pretty much it, right? I also did like mocks with some people. I mean, I did mocks with KHM, and that's about it.
I
But
see.
yeah, like I don't think mocks would help me much because like I my hero pool is pretty limited, so like there's not like many like drafts I can experiment with. Like I'm pretty I know what I'm gonna play most of the time before I even start because I have like 50 units geared, so there's not much choice.
Hmm. Now, I asked you this question the first time we did your account review, but if you had any, maybe just a little bit of advice for obviously the 7-year anniversary is around the corner right now with the part one being completed almost and part two coming around and E7 WC for, the newer players that are coming into the game that might watch this video, what are some tips that you would give them, especially being free to play, where if they want to be set up for success like yourself to eventually get a good rank in RTA, maybe go for legend. What would you kind of give them for advice? Just maybe, three things.
Three things. Okay, so first of all, I would say, okay, so first of all, like play to have fun. I would say that's most important. Like if you don't have fun, like it's hard to improve if you're not having fun.
Mm,
Because like you're gonna get like tilted quickly, you're gonna get angry, and then like it's like really hard.
mhm,
And like if you're not having fun, like there's no point in playing anyway.
mhm,
Then secondly, I would say like spend your resources wisely, especially if you're a free to play or like low spending. You definitely like wanna you don't want to like throw your resources around everywhere. So like ask people like that are like good or like knowledgeable about the game. Like should I pull like multiple copies of, let's say, this artifact, for example? Like should I pull multiple copies of this new Guardian Ice Crystal, or like should I pull this new Mystic unit? Like what's up next? Like Ras. Like, we don't know his kit yet, but like you don't know if he's gonna be good or not. Like
mhm,
like that, you should ask people if you're not sure. Then
mhm,
also like you need like to know how to build your units because like if you're like you can be like the best player ever. Like if your units are badly built, you're still gonna lose most of your games. So most of the prep comes before you even start playing. Like you need to have like your units built well
mhm,
before you like start drafting and like pressing skills.
mhm.
And that's about it, I'd say.
I see.
But like the main thing is just have fun. Like if you're not having fun, there's no point in playing.
Mhm. And I think this is kind of my final question. If chat, you guys have any questions for Lifton, please type it in the chat. But my final question would be right now in Rift, right? What four sets are you running and has it changed since the last time we spoke?
Let me show you my Rift. Where is Rift? Okay. Ah, here it is. Okay, look at my Rift. Boom. I haven't farmed a single. I haven't done a single run of Rift this season.
And I guess I'm glad I asked this. Is there a reason why?
Yes, because I like. Okay, so let me say this first. If you want only gear, you should 100% farm Rift. If you only want gear, just farm Rift. The thing is, so I'm free to play. I like Hunt more. First of all, Hunt isn't that bad. If like first of all, I'm farming Wyvern, so Hunt isn't that bad because I can still like chase speed. Like all of the Wyvern sets are good for chasing speed. But besides that, the main reason is Wyvern Hunt gives you a lot of resources besides gear. From Hunt, you can get Sky Stones, Mystics, Bookmarks, Powder, etc., etc. So that's why I'm farming Hunt pretty much.
I see. I see. Another question. There's been teasers of potentially a boss selector um, from the data mines and whatnot, right? Now, out of the boss ML5s, obviously being Valiant, Harsetti, Zeo, Straze, etc., which of the bosses would you want to pick for your account and how would you build them?
So based purely on entertainment, I would definitely want to make a second Zeo. But I think if I'm playing optimally, I would rather take a second Hersetti and make her full effectiveness on Crown, or take a second Balian and make a prot set Balian. I think
Mm,
those are definitely like the best choices. If you already have all the bosses, you should definitely either consider getting a second Hersetti or a second Balian. But I'm really thinking about getting a second Zeo because I think it would be pretty funny if I have like a second Zeo and one is full damage and one is full effectiveness. I
hmm
think that would be pretty fun, but I don't think it's very good, but it would be pretty interesting.
I think the Zeo and Harsetti makes total sense, but I think something that, surprises me even is like the protections at Valiant. What could you tell us why you would want to go for Protection Valiant instead?
Yeah, sure. The reason is because sometimes you just want to play Balian for her passive, not really for her damage. Like if my opponent has, if my opponent, let's say they pick Luna, and I'm gonna play like an ER comp.
Hmm
I would much rather pick my prot Balian on 3 than a DPS Balian on 3 because if I pick a prot Balian on 3, that means I already have my DPS secured, I already have my mitigation secured, and I'm also denying his souls. So like
mm
I don't have to worry about more mitigation later on or like
hmm
something else. Plus, a damage Balian, if you pick a damage Balian early on, your opponent can pick stuff like LRK. LRK is pretty good against damage Balian. Like new Kid Adin is also pretty good, and so on. But like if you have a prot Balian, she's going to be base speed. She's barely going to be pressing S1. So LRK and Adin, those kind of units will get next to no value. So in
mm
those kind of scenarios, prot set Belen is definitely better when you just want to pick
mm
her for the S2
I see.
and also get mitigation for your team.
I see. So for someone who is getting into RTA and they've been playing for a little while, if they don't have any of those boss characters, which one would you suggest them to pick?
Depends on your play style, but okay. So if your turn, okay, if you have 3F, you can pick Bellion if you have
Mm,
3F. If you don't have 3F, don't even consider Bellion. Then if you're a somewhat fast player, I would take Zio. If you're a slow player, I would take Corsetti.
I see.
Strays and definitely don't take Strays or Archdemon.
Mm, got
Like the
it.
thing is, Strays is good with units like Lidica and Amid, but like if you're a new player, you probably don't have those, or like even if you have them, they're gonna be super slow, so you shouldn't even consider Strays.
I see. Okay, well, I mean, that wraps up all my questions. I don't think chat has any further questions. I will I think also you got into the content creator program. Is that right?
No, I
Or
didn't.
fuck. Okay, well, hopefully you do. Hopefully we're gonna see are any plans to stream in the future?
No, I don't think so. I think
God
I'm
damn it.
done with
All
streaming.
right. All right. Well, the floor is yours. If there's anything that you want to say to the audience, feel free. But thank you so much for your time.
I think I said everything I wanted to say. Thanks everyone for watching. Remember to subscribe to Vic's YouTube and goodbye.